بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله تعالى على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم. So we are doing grammar and reviewing the pronouns and some of the verbs and their forms. So this is something that you should be doing after you have viewed maybe 3 or 4 translation lessons, and after that you should pick that grammar lecture up. So the notes that we are using is called Brief Journey Through Arabic Grammar and Appendix B2 PDF. It should be on the forum or wherever you're getting your notes from. Okay. So what we have in this chart is what you might have already heard through the various lectures that you've gone through, is what we keep calling third person, second person, and first person. So when we are communicating, usually there are 3 types of person involved. So the one who is talking is called first person, right? And that would be I or we in the sentence, right? I am telling you not to come to class, or I will give you a task, or I will bring you this thing, right? We will come to you, right? Or we will take care of this task. All this I and we's are first person because they are representing the person who is talking. Fair enough? Second person is the one that you are talking to, right? So it could be yourself if you're communicating with your own self, or it could be somebody else that you are talking to. And the third person is the one that you are talking about. Okay, it could be present, it could not be present, right? So Shahid is present, right? I say that Shahid is a good guy, but he just comes late. So, no, I'm just kidding, right? So that means I'm talking about him, and he's present, but I'm talking to you, right? So then I would say he, right? So he is used for third person. So I say he is he was just late, or he's a good student, or he scored highest marks in the class. Okay? So then it makes it even, right? So that in this sentences I'm talking about Shahir, although he's present, but even if I'm addressing the whole class and I say that okay, Shahir got the highest marks in the class, right? So Shahir is his third person in that sentence, because I'm addressing the class as a whole, and I'm talking about Shahir. So any person that I'm talking about, and I would use he or she, that is a third person. Okay, so this is one categorization of people that you're talking to, and then we have a second categorization is by gender, right? So is it male gender or female gender, right? So in this chart you see MG for male gender and FG for female gender. So male and female, that's one categorization by gender. And Arabic, as other languages, also have this quality, is that you only have 2 genders, either male or female. You don't have a concept of it, right? So in English you have he, she, and it, right? So in Arabic, everything would either fall into he or she. So in terms of the nouns that you're using, it would either be he or she. Okay. What else do you see is singular, SR, and plural is EL. And there is another one in Arabic, which is dual. Right? So we have a special form that is used to address 2 people. Right? So if you're talking about 2 person, you could use the plural form as well, but typically you see that the dual form is being used. And this you would see not very often in Quran, but you would see in some places. Example, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about Adam alayhi salam and his wife, you would see the tense being used would be dual. Okay, so this is the categorization based on the singularity, plurality, the gender, their part in the conversation are the third person, second person, and first person. Okay. So the first thing that we want to know is the pronouns, right? So pronouns are the ones that are used instead of a noun. So you mention the noun and then you start using the pronoun. So instead of saying, for example, pick on somebody else now. So if I say Taha is a a newcomer who's doing very well. So I said Taha is a newcomer, and then the next sentence I would say he is doing well. Right? So I'm using pronoun instead of saying Taha again and again. Right? So this is what the pronouns are used for. So in English we have he, she, they. Right? So we have corresponding things in Arabic that we have already been seeing through the various lectures that we've gone through, and that was the reason that I said that look at this lecture after going through at least a few lectures of the translation, so that you already have some idea, and this would actually complete the picture for you, as opposed to starting with it and then going back to things. So huwa is used for he, right? So you can see that he. Okay. Yeah, it's already on the form or the Google Books under the grammar tab. So huwa is he, right? And then you can see that it says singular, gender is male, and the type is third person. So this corresponds to your English understanding of things. So huwa is he, and hum is them, but it's plural and it is third person. So plural and third person is them in English. Sorry, they, not them, they. Huwa is he and hum is they. Okay, fair enough. And huma is they too. Example of huwa is قل هو الله أحد. Right? هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو. Right? So this is where you see huwa. Okay, and hum is them. So in Al-Baqarah, أولئك هم المفلحون. They are the ones who are the successful ones. Okay, now we go on the female gender. Hiya is she, and huma is for two females, and hunna is for more than two females. More than two females. So them. So they. In English we just have they, right? But in Arabic we have they male and they females. Okay. It is okay for you to use hum to represent they consisting of male and females. Okay. So far so good. Now we are moving on to second person. So anta is you, singular, male. Antuma is you, two males, and antum is you all. So example of anta is, we say the dua after salah, Allahumma anta salam. Allah, you are salam. And antum, right, very good. Right, so Surah Al-Kafirun, قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ لَا أَعْبُدُ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ وَلَا أَنْتُمْ, and not you all will worship what I worship. Okay, so try to remember this with the common example, and it will be helpful. And anti means you, female. Antuma is same as before, but so it can be used for two males or two females. And antunna is for more than two females. Okay. Ana is I. We've seen again Surah Al-Kafirun has a lot of pronouns. لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم. نحن is we. So this completes your basic pronouns. And we see this multiple times in Quran. So if you start memorizing it, reviewing it briefly, and then when you practice your translation and try to memorize the translation, this will inshallah blend in together. Okay, so now what is this possessive pronoun? Look, this chart says this column is personal pronouns and this is possessive pronoun. So now remember what we have in English, right? So we have he is a good student, right? Or can you pass him his book? So we have three pronouns in English. We have he, we have him, and we have his. So in our Arabic we don't have the three categories. We have only two categories mostly. So the he category was the personal pronouns, and the possessive pronouns is what would be a his or a him in English. Right? When do you use his and him in English? So one is when you're talking about some possession. So when you're saying his book, you're denoting a possession. Right? And secondly is if you're talking about a noun as an object of an action, you also use a different sort of pronoun, right? So you're saying, I invited him to class. You don't say, I invited he to class, right? So this is different. So this section is telling you what would you use in Arabic for possession or for the object form. For the object form. So instead of saying him or his, you would say who. Him or his, you would say who. Okay? So we say Huwallahu ahad. He, Allah is one. Right? Now if we have to say, for example, Lahu ma fis samawat. For him is whatever is in the heavens. So in English we say for him. So here you won't say Lahua. You say Lahu. Now it's easier for you because look, what we are trying to achieve in this course, and this is the different proposal that I have is we're going from, instead of going from the other way around, we go directly to what we want to do, which is to understand the Quran. So when you're understanding the Quran, you already have things written in appropriate fashion. Right? So we see in Quran, we see huwa appearing where it's supposed to appear. You see who appearing where it's supposed to appear. Right? Whereas if you're learning Arabic communication or Arabic writing, then you have to do it the other way. Then you are producing content. Right? Now you're trying to understand content, you're not producing content. So you have to think, or should I use huwa or should I use who? Right? Which is a difficult task, relatively more difficult than understanding the content. So understanding content is easier than producing content. And this is a key thing that I hope that inshallah we can communicate from this course, and this is something that you should help your friends and relatives realize as well, that these are two different paths, right? So it's easier to understand Quran and opposed to producing Arabic content, like talking or writing, which is better as well, but at least the basic people should understand is understand the Quran. So you would see, when you see who and huwa, and as long as you can recognize that it's for the third person verb, then you're good, right? You don't have to remember huwa and who distinction because you're not producing content, you're consuming content. Okay, so huma is same in both cases, and hum is also same in both cases. That was the reason that I made that mixed it up, and then I said they and them, but it's the same thing that you use for they and them with the same Arabic word for they and for them. And then we have ha for here. So when you're saying Rabbu ha, her Rabb, you don't say Rabbu here, you say Rabbu ha for her Rabb. And similarly for hunna is same. Okay. Clear? Okay. Now you have ka, which is quite common and it's easier. So ka is for you when you're talking as an object or as a possessor. So you say Rabbuka, your Rabb, your Rabb. Or Assalamu alayka. Now this is an object because you're doing the action of sending salam, and the person receiving the action is denoted by ka, meaning you. So you can say Assalamu alayka for singular person, as we say Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi. For two people you can say Assalamu alaykuma. For more than two, or even for two, or even for singular, it's okay to use Assalamu alaykum. For female it's Assalamu alayhi. Kuma for two, and kunna for okay. And when you're talking about mine or mine, you use the I. So that's why you see Rabbi. Rabbi. Okay. Or when you're talking about us, we say Rabbana. So this is the difference between nahnu and na. Okay. Another thing that you commonly see is this appearing with words. Now, if you're looking at this lecture the first time, you haven't gone through any translation, then this will be very overwhelming. But if you're coming to this grammar lecture after having done a few translations, it should inshallah be easier because you've already been seeing this. So typically Arabic words are formed from 3 root letters, right? Letter 1, 2, 3, or you can use fa, ain, lam to represent those 3 letters. Represent those 3 letters, or what we call them as root letters. So if you take, for example, khalaqa, so what is the first root letter in khalaqa? Kha. What is the second root letter? And the third one is qaf. So the same thing. So this fa, in this whole chart, the fa is representing the first root letter, which in the example of khalaqa is kha. And ain is representing the second root letter, which in the example of khalaqa is lam. And lam is representing the third root letter, which in the example of khalaqa is qaf. For abada, it's what? Right? So everybody sees that for abada, which means he worshipped, the corresponding root letters are ain, ba, da. For wajada, for ja'ala, for anything you want to put, you can figure out what are the 3 root letters. Keep. That's right. Yeah. So fa'ala means he did. He did. So we're talking about some third person in the sentence he did. It is past tense. Right? So we're only talking about past tense today. We'll talk about the future later. Fa'ala means he did. So that's why you see alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka. Okay? Now similarly, khalaqa means he created. Right? خلق السماوات والأرض وما بينهما في 6 أيام. So he created the skies and the earth, so on and so forth. Okay? So now what we are seeing is we are mentioning the action, and this is all past tense, and we are mentioning the doer. Right? We're mentioning the doer. So here the doer is a third person singular male. Fa'ala, the doer is a third person dual, 2 people, but male. Fa'alu is third person and the plural, so it could be more than 2 and it could be male and female, both, or just males. Okay? So you see the difference is that you're just adding a wow. Here we are adding a alif. Now for the female case, you just make it fa'ala and then you add a ta sakit. So it becomes she did. Fa'ala, fa'alat. Khalaqa, khalaqat. Okay? And then fa'alata for 2 females, and fa'alna for more than 2. So again, this is something that you can review. Don't have to force yourself to memorize it too much, because as you go along with the translation, you will start seeing it. Okay? And fa'alta is you did. Fa'alta is you did something, and fa'altuma is you too did. So example of fa'alta is khalaqta, right? Meaning you created. Okay? And what else? Today, for example, we saw the word labithta. Labithta. So in, for example, the second page of juz 3, we see that ألم ترى إلى الذي مر أو كالذي مر على قوم, right? على قرية وهي خاوية على عروشها. In that this passage we saw it back and forth, right? So labithta, you state, labith to I state, and then again labithta, you state. So this is talking about the story in juz 3. But there are many other examples as well. Khalaqta is you created. Fa'altuma is you too did some action. Fa'altum is you all did some action. فعلتي is she, female, did some action. فعلتما, two females. فعلتمنا, more than two females. And when you're talking about I, you use فعل to. It's like you use آمن to. It's آمن to بالله, I believe in Allah. Right? And فعلنا is we did some action. Right? خلقنا, we created. رزقنا, we provided. So on and so forth. Okay, so this is how in general things look, and this is what we have been seeing in various translations as well. And then there are some other rules that inshallah we'll cover as we go along. And then you'd find some examples here. Let's do that quickly. Wajada is he found. So look, so you are mentioning two things here. You're mentioning the action which is of founding, and you know that it's past tense. And you're also mentioning the type of the doer. Right? Kafara, two things: disbelieving, refusing, and also the actor, which is third person here. And other examples, right? And for the plural case, katabu, they wrote. Okay. What would be the singular for this? Kataba. Kataba. So now you can compare it with the fa'ala. So instead of fa, ayn, lam, you have kaf, ta, ba. Sorry? Right. So what should so if you want to say you all wrote, what would we say? Wrote. Let's look at the chart. So first figure out which one do you want to look at. This one? No, just let's do it step by step. So we're trying to find out the corresponding one in this chart. Are we going to look at here? Okay, katabtum. So we want what? Second person. So of course we won't look at this one. Right? This is all third person, so let's forget this. So we look in the second person here. Okay. And we will find what? The plural case, which is this case. Right? So it would be katabtum. Okay. So katabu, similar. Okay, nasarta is you help. You help. And the other example, fatahtuma, you two open, you two are victorious. What else? Valamtum is you all wrong. You all, sorry, this is talabtum, it's not valam. Talabtum, you all demand. Talab should demand. Okay, and then there are other examples that inshallah you can go and look at. This will inshallah conclude. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.